Hello and welcome to my presentation on food security in the dairy industry. My name is Victor Buica and I hope you'll enjoy this presentation. And now on to the personas. Our first persona here on the left hand side, we have Clint Eastwood. He is a dairy farmer who is raising cows and provides milk for the cafeterias at local schools, grocery stores, and dairy processing factories that make cheese. A total of 50% of his produce mainly goes to those schools. However, due to them being closed, he is forced to dump that percentage of milk back into his farmland. Then we have Robert Downey, a young school student who is currently in the second grade and is dependent on school meal programs for his daily nutrition. He comes from an underprivileged family that suffers from financial troubles, and since the schools have closed for in-person learning, is no longer receiving said meals. The constraints that exist are that milk itself is very difficult to keep preserved for long durations of time, and the long distances needed to be covered to deliver these meals to all the students in the community can be quite difficult. As such, the ideation method I have decided to do is to reverse engineer or reverse think of ways that start from the solution and end at the problem. The resulting outcome intended would be that all students will get their meals and farmers will no longer dump their produce and waste it. Which brings us to our problem statement, which discusses the fact that there is no proper food delivery method for students that were dependent on meal plans from schools, thus resulting in farmers dumping any excess milk that they produce. Some supporting evidence of this shown is that in a recent CNBC segment, farmers were dumping nearly 50% of all their produce due to schools and restaurants being shut down. The article on the right-hand side also indicates that over 500 Canadian farmers are forced to dump nearly 5 million liters of raw milk a week due to that same issue. And finally, the article at the bottom discusses a solution where schools deliver meals to the homes of students who are studying virtually at home, thus making it a viable solution that can be quantitatively measured. Which over here we have indicated as a ratio of meals delivered compared to the number of people enlisted to receive said meals. If the ratio is 1, then that means that everyone enrolled in a meal program gets a meal. Anything less than that means there are outstanding people who are not receiving these meals. This will hopefully relieve any dumping, which would have went from 50% down to 0%, offsetting any production excess. Thank you for listening to my presentation and hope to hear wonderful comments about it.